In this video, I'm going to give you the exact step-by-step formula of how you can get your numbers de-spam flagged or minimize or mitigate spam flagging as best as humanly possible so you can get a higher pickup rate, higher contact rate, talk to more of your leads, and hopefully get more sales. Okay, let's get into it. So I'm going to give you 5 key ways that you can use that are actually doable within a system that you're using right now if you're not on the old dialer.io. Okay, so the first thing is limit the numbers usage per day. Okay, so we have it set to, it's a bit of a dynamic variable. However, if you're using a number, say more than about 75 times a day, the likelihood of being spam flagged is significantly increased. Okay, so you have to rotate through those numbers. Now, I highly recommend not rotating it like 75, switch out, 75, switch out, 75, switch out, because that is going to be a very, very clear pattern, which leads into number 2, but we'll go back to that in a second. So you want to be, rotating your number out. We do it at dialer.io. We rotate it like in a very particular way that we have found mitigates spam flagging as best as humanly possible, which is done automatically by our software. But if you're doing it and you're getting like your sales managers to do it, or you're getting your reps to do it individually, then you might just want to have it like on an hourly basis or on a set time where it's like everybody rotates through their numbers. Okay, doesn't mean that when you get a number you just throw it away, but you do want to rotate through it. Okay, so limit the amount of numbers per day. Don't do $500 on one number. Or if you've got like 5 setters on 5 numbers and you've been going for like 2 months and you're wondering why your pickup rate is crap, like you're overusing your numbers. If it's not being used like a normal phone, it's going to get spam flagged eventually. Okay, spam flagging is not the end of the world, but it is not a good thing. There are the things that stop pickups, but it's one of the main ones. Okay, so that's number 1. Limit the amount of dials per day per number. Number 2, okay, it's all about try to avoid any type of dialing that has a really clear and distinct pattern, or doing anything that's a really, really clear and distinct pattern. So the way that it works is that the numbers that you dial from are being analyzed by analytics and monitoring companies like Haya and Newstar and TNT and First Orion, and what they're doing is they're looking for sort of non-regular, non-human-like behavior. So I don't know about you, but I don't make a phone call exactly every 15 seconds, which is exactly what your kind of power or auto dialer is doing. Or God forbid you're on a multi-line or a parallel dialer, you're probably doing, it's going through and literally just churning through all these leads, and it's doing it in a very, very obvious way. Spam flag works off pattern recognition. If you act in the same way that call center and spam call centers and like people on multi-line and parallel dialers, like if you act in a non-human like not your phone, then it's going to raise red flags. And then it's going to look at a number of other different analytics, and then it's going to decide that number is not being used by a human. They're using a dialer. We don't like dialers. They're dialing at too high a volume. They're obviously using an auto dialer. Chances are you're probably not even set up to do that properly, but it's just not a good idea. So what it does, it just promotes spam flagging. So anyone that's kind of telling you to, you can out dial it, or you just do multi-line dialing, like it doesn't really work. It's why your pickup rates have gotten worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Okay, so in order to avoid that, manual dialing is the best way if you don't have a better dialing solution. Okay, so we have our own specific types of dialing. We don't at Dialer that we've built specifically to counteract stuff like this, where we can still do it at a high volume. But if you don't have us, then what you want to do is you will get a much higher pickup rate if you click and manually dial. So if you're limiting the amount of dials per day per number, and then you're manually dialing and not using anything that's going to have a pattern to it, you are going to be doing 2 really good things to mitigate being spam flagged and raise pickup rates. And if you guys are getting value from this, please consider subscribing and liking the video. It helps me out. Number 3, don't leave an ungodly amount of voicemails, okay? Leaving tons of voicemails is not human-like behavior. I don't know about you, but like on my normal day-to-day phone, I don't leave 50, 60 voicemails a day. So voicemail drops and doing that kind of stuff, like it is non-human-like behavior. So although you might have been doing it for a long time, it's like,
but Matt, we do voicemail drops and it works really well.
Does it though? Are you getting 20% pickup rates? Do you have 80% contact rates, like what I'll show you in a little bit? No, you don't. So like maybe it doesn't work. Maybe it's just a system that you've architected based off crappy infrastructure, right? You would squat differently if barbells were made of jello. Agree? Sweet. So leaving a crap ton of voicemails is a great way to get spam flagged. Again,
because it's very obvious, it's a clear pattern, it's a high volume, it's non-human-like, and it's going to promote spam flagging and lower pickup rates.
Number 4, it's all about don't text from the same numbers that you dial from. Okay? So texting has its own level of compliance and regulation and regulatory matters and all that kind of stuff. Your reps who are texting, if you're a rep and you're texting, like you have no control over like them texting usually. And so if they're calling and texting from the same numbers, they're going to start doing like this crazy kind of like call for 3 times, text 4 times. And you're kind of doing it. It's like, but Matt, the person needs to have the same number. Call out and text. Otherwise they're going to be confused. If you think that the person who just opted into a Facebook ad and then says, "Who are you? Huh?" If you think that that person is recognizing the phone numbers where they went, "I'm getting a call," and then they're going to go, "I'm getting a text." Oh, you know, because I have 195 IQ, I remember that number that called me an hour ago that I looked at for less than 1 second. I don't remember my own mother's phone number, but I do remember that one. It's stupid. Okay? So separate those two systems out. Okay? The last one is speed to lead. So I'll put up a little screenshot here, okay, of the speed to lead of some dialer, and this is just standard. So a speed to lead in our system is like a minute, right? If someone's online, the lead comes in and everything's set up to where that's how it's supposed to be, then they will be the next queue, the next lead called done, right? As soon as they opt in. So if your speed to lead is there, then your chances of talking to them is much higher. Now, my thesis is that not that they are a much hotter lead, it's just that they're available, right? So if I'm like sort of scrolling through and opting into ads, chances are like I'm not super busy. Like I'm not in the middle of doing stuff. I've never like opted in whilst cooking, or you know what I mean? Like I've never been on a meeting and then just been casually opting in to funnels. Like I don't know about you, but I don't do that. And so speed to lead is like they're available, they're on their phone. Most opt-ins are done on the phone, therefore they're on their phone, they're looking at it, and they get a call. And hello, oh yes, I'm available. HubSpot just released a study. You're 100 times more likely to make a sale if you get them in the first 5 minutes. So we focus heavily on speed to lead, and you can too. It's quite difficult without Dialer, I know, because I tried for a long time. However, there are plenty of systems that you can do, but you can build your own and you can optimize, okay? And you know, if you just want a software that kind of does most of this stuff for you, then you can head over to www.dialer.io and we do all this stuff for you. So our software is designed to increase pickup rates, just like our client here, okay? They're a marketing agency calling all types of different SMBs, and I have examples of cold callers and I have examples of every different industry you can imagine. We have 150 odd different businesses on there now. We've been open for about 5 months, and we specialize in getting higher pickup rate and higher contact rates, and we have built it to do it in a compliant and quality way where we're not just trying to dial everyone to death, right? As you can see, this client, 18% pickup rate over the course of months and high volume dialing and an 87% contact rate. If you want those kind of contact rates, and if you just can't be bothered doing all the rotations yourself, and if you have a team of people that's doing outbound dialing, then head over to dialer.io, and we would love to see if we can help. But I hope that was valuable content. I hope it helps you out. Hope you can go on and implement it. And if not, then just let me do it. All right, guys. Bye.